Hey yo, the almighty SOS Wrestling Network back at y'all once again. Pro Wrestling Reviews. This time we got Pro Wrestling Knows N1 Victory Tournament for you. Actually, the N1 Victory Final. Let's go ahead and get into the first match. First match, you got the team of Full Throttle Hajime Ohara, Siaki Yoshoka, and Yohei defeating the team of Juyaka Miyawaki, Kinya Okada, and Seiya Moroashi, excuse me. Okada and Junta have showed a lot of potential, and they're going to be making nice additions to the Noah roster once they get their first pushes, in my opinion. Full Throttle gets an easy win here to establish the new Cottage-less lineup on a big show. Noah's junior faction, notoriously unstable, has seen the absurd turnovers of the Rattels members over the years. Given that Full Throttle, which just only in August just appointed Cottage as their leader, already kicked him out, means that this division is far from stabilizing anything anytime soon. So this was okay. It was kind of solid. It was alright. So we got Kongo, Tatsuke, and Neo defeating Maso Inoue and Akiyoshi Saito, a very basic match in my opinion. Inoue and Saito are very limited at this stage in their career, in my opinion. That's just me. Don't get on me too hard. Tatsuke and Neo, they did very well through bumping for the veterans, throw bumping for the veterans, and they were rewarded with a win. Not much more to say here since it was fairly an inconsequential match in the grand scheme of this show. Next match we got Sugiura Gun, Takashi Sugiura, Kendo Kashin, Kazuyuki Fujita, and Kazushi Sakuraba, the legend, defeating Kongo, Keno, Manabu Soya, Yoshiki Inamura, and Masa Kitamiya right here. Big man spots with Inamura Fujita to start this off. I could easily see Inamura turn into a Fujita style worker with a little bit more experience right here. Kendo Kashin, I've never been a fan of his. I think he was still bad right here. Obviously it's horrible that WWE fired him to start despite making an absurd amount of money this year, but an added downside, he's on this show, we have to watch him wrestle here. Sakuraba, on the other hand, is excellent. His exchange with Soya here is better than their match they had in the N1. He has just decided he cares about his matches now, and he's not just doing lazy grappling anymore. We got a curious choice of Soya and Fujita as the people in peril for the respective teams here in this match. Not who I would necessarily would expected to take that heat if I would have thought about it. Though calling Fujita being in peril might be a bit far as he beats the piss out of Inamura, he actually pins him here. Soya and Kitamiya challenge for the tag belts afterwards. This is a pretty fun match. So speaking of tag titles, the next match we have the GHC Junior Tag Team Championships on the line. We got Momoshi Shison, Daisuke Harada, and Atsushi Koji defeating the team of Stinger Hayata and Yoshinari Ogawa right here. So no more room for the Kotis entrance right here, which is a shame, and it really did a big injustice for him to getting kicked out of Full Throttle. One thing I want to say about this match, Noah's need to overhaul the junior division and get rid of dead weight like Hayata, in my opinion. This is one of the biggest shows of the year. You can't have the likes of somebody like Hayata in the title match. It just hurts people's perception, in my opinion. Most of Noah's juniors used to lower indie guys that went to work for a promotion when no one else would hire them. There's a certain element of loyalty there. So that's shout out to them junior guys. I'm sure they'll get deeply de-emphasized as the promotion grows, but right now they're hurting the promotion's perception. This is in my opinion. Most of them are also mediocre at best. Ogawa, he can stay here since he fucking rules. He was easily the best part of the match in my opinion. This match ultimately was just kind of there. It feels like a series of unconnected spots with no real story overall in my opinion, which tends to be an issue with the recent Noah Jr. matches overall. Decent finish, but overall a meh match. Full Throttle challenge for Harada and Koji afterwards for the belts. For some reason, despite having just won the belts. So hey, it is what it is. Now we got the GHC Junior Heavyweight Championship right now. We got Kotaro Suzuki defending against Hao. Hao with a flurry to start off before Suzuki is able to take control. He tries to ground his opponent with some grappling. This is a great speed versus technique matchup as Hao's one of the better high flyers on the Noah roster. We get some very deep near falls for Hao and a variety of cradles. This feels like Hao is just one Kotaro slip away from victory right here. A very relentless pace as well. There's very little downtime as Hao is consistently going for the win this match. Suzuki is one of the best at kicking out the very last like microsecond of a pin combination and with a couple counter and a couple near falls in between the finish. In the end though, Suzuki is able to hit his finisher and escape with his title reign attack. He feels like a vulnerable champion because this was a war and it was far from dynamic. Kotaro gave Hao a lot here and I wouldn't mind him having a rematch in the near future. Kotoji and Harada come out and this turns they literally aren't happy with having the tag belts and they want the singles belt. This is a very good match and it's probably the second best match on the show. So next we get Naomichi Marufuji, Masaki Mozuki, and Kaiji Muto defeating, and Matasato Funaki, can't forget him, defeating the team of Go Shiozaki, Muhammad Yone, Danaki Inaba, and Shuhei Taniguchi. Overall, I think this was fun. Maybe went a bit long. Structure-wise, it was a basic 8-man tag team match. Everybody got their chance to shine here, but the purpose was to set up a bunch of feuds for the rest of the year. Look like the feud we're going to get is an Inaba versus Marufuji and a Muto versus Taniguchi feud. Both of these guys got well into it with each other during the match and brawled after the match afterwards. Especially Muto and Taniguchi. They went after that and got tangled up in a figure 4. Still, this match honestly probably would have been better if they had a few minutes, shaved off. Still was pretty fun. And next, we have the N1 victory final right here. We got Katsuhiko Nakajima defeating Kaito Kiyomiya right here. This match, in my opinion, had the proper big fight feel. These two last faced off in a singles match in July 2019, where Kaito was the GHC heavyweight champion. That match, while good, maybe in some people's eyes was a slight disappointment and one of the weaker defenses of Kaito's reign. Here, these two delivered in full and then some. This match left me wanting more in the best way possible, and this will hopefully be a start of a long-time feud that will culminate with Kaito winning the belt off Nakajima. I can definitely envision that. I think I've said in the past, Kaito feels much more of a Noah's equal to top guys that he right here now than he did taking the Nakajima in the start. He feels more like a top tier Noah guy, in my opinion. It would not last long though. Nakajima would come to dominate this match very convincingly. Once he takes control, he starts toying with Kaito. Nakajima's on offense here. He feels like a predator who's just playing around with his prey until it's time to strike the final killing blow. That was pretty much the structure of this match, as his kicks felt extra stiff here. He's just kicking Kaito with full force in the stomach, lays in some disgusting sounding slaps. You can actually see Kaito's face swelling up from Nakajima's slaps here. It was brutal. Kaito doesn't really get a small comeback here. Nakajima almost knocks him out with a murderous high kick. Then he just hits Kaito with a diamond bomb and pins him. Aside from Kaito's early flurry, this is a complete domination from Nakajima. I thought it would go a little bit longer, and the fact that it didn't I'm actually pleased. This match laid the groundwork for a Kaito to climb back up and win the N1 next year. Nakajima, in the meanwhile, moves to his long-awaited title match at Go Shiozaki, where I want my man to win the title, so he most likely probably will. So that was our N1 Victory 2020 review for Pro Wrestling Noah, guys. We are SOS Wrestling Network. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And your boy is up out of here. So adios, guys. See y'all later.